Hello everybody and welcome back to Lysenko channel on YouTube. Lysenko is a federally registered trademark in the United States of America in Class 45 legal services. Today I would like to cover this topic: state versus federal trademark registration. What the differences are, what the similarities are in general. First of all, it's state law versus federal law. When one wants to secure a state trademark registration, it is subject to that particular state law. When one wants to secure a federal trademark registration, it is subject to federal law. So that's the one of the major differences, and therefore if one wants to obtain a federal trademark registration, it does not really make much difference what the state its business is originated or located in. The process before the trademark office for a federal trademark registration would be pretty much the same. When one wants to secure a state trademark registration, on the other hand, it would be governed by the law of that particular state, and it could have some specifics, some local requirements to be followed. So that's first distinction. Second is the authority. When a state trademark application is filed, it is submitted usually to a Department of State. It's either a Secretary of State or a particular division of corporations or a similar body within the Department of State. It may have slightly different title in a particular state. A federal trademark application is filed with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So that would be another distinction. Classification of goods are mostly similar or the same. To know for sure exact specific classification for a particular state, that particular state database would need to be checked. But generally, it's likely to be the same or similar to the classification of goods and services under the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Next difference is the length of trademark prosecution. It would take longer for a federal trademark to be processed and approved or denied, or certificate of registration being issued, etc. State trademark registration would likely to take less time and be processed much faster. Another difference is difference in official fee or a tax paid to the government. Fee for a state trademark application is less expensive than a fee for a federal trademark registration application. Right? For example, in New York, it's $50 for one class for a state trademark application. Federal trademark application fee is either $350 for TES Standard and $250 for TES Plus. So the difference is obvious for a filing fee. Next difference is a geographical scope, and this is one of the most important differences, because that's very much the what makes the different effect for each trademark registration. Geographical scope of a state trademark registration is limited to that particular state. The scope of protection for a federal trademark registration is nationwide. It means that if one secures a federal trademark registration, then that trademark owner has a right to exclude, for the most part, with some exception, but for the most part, exclude others from using the same or identically similar trademark. State trademark registration would be limited to that particular state. So that's the geographical scope. Next differences is the use requirement. And this is also very important to understand, because this is where one could basically decide whether or not he or she is qualified for a federal trademark registration. Use requirement for a federal trademark registration is use in commerce. And use in commerce pretty much means that the reach of use or sales of goods or provision of services crosses the border of one state, and that's why the Congress has authority to regulate that activity under the federal law. So that's pretty much what it is all about. The scope of use or sales should reach across the border of one state into another, or it should be between one state and another nation. And all use for a state trademark registration is pretty much any regular provision of services or sale of goods locally. As long as it is real, it should be sufficient to satisfy use for a state trademark registration. Okay, so so now having in mind these general rules and differences in practice, when one would want to secure a state or a federal trademark registration. So here I would say that a very small business, a small store or a small shop without a website and without clients outside of the state, and with very limited clients in a particular local community, so that would probably be a likely applicant for a state trademark registration, right? So if there's not enough to show use in commerce, then this may be enough to satisfy use for a state trademark registration. If business is larger, if there are clients outside of the state, few states, multiple states, if goods are being offered and sold via the website, and people from outside of the state are purchasing the product, and the clients from outside of the state, and maybe from even other foreign countries, are using particular services or buying particular product. Well, that is when the basically use in commerce would be satisfied. And in that case, that use would be sufficient to show use in commerce, and therefore allow that individual or business owner to secure a federal trademark registration. So sometimes one may decide to secure both federal trademark registration and a state trademark registration. And generally speaking, they likely be no issues with that. Why would one want to do that? Well, it's an additional document, it's additional evidence, it's additional certification that you have your rights. Moreover, if a particular business is kind of on the fence as to what level of use they have, they believe they have use in commerce. At the same time, the business is not as large, or maybe they have business in 2 states, but there is a possible plan to limit it to 1 state. I mean, depending on the circumstances, one may want to have just the federal trademark registration, or just the state trademark registration, or maybe both. And so that's pretty much the topic for today. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Thank you. Bye.